There we go. Oh, hold on. I'm getting some feedback. Really sorry, guys. Let me fix that. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. So let's talk about fight or flight mode for a second. Um, so basically what happens when you go into fight or flight mode is you basically get exposed to some sort of trigger, right? And that trigger can set you off. What it does is it actually physically sends a burst of adrenaline through your body. It's a physical thing. A lot of times people think fight or flight is just a mental issue, right? It's kind of not true. It's actually your body wanting to and like instinctively built to run away, right? Or to fight like crazy to survive. It's important. The problem is that a lot of the stressors that we have in our world right now are not worthy of running away or fighting, right? But our bodies don't really know that. And that really comes from our muscles a lot, like a lot. Your muscles is like the armor of your body, right? And so when you're in fight or flight, your muscles get like high alert. They're ready to protect you at all costs, whether that's to run really fast, which your muscles are in charge of, or whether it's to fight like crazy, which your muscles are also in charge of. What happens though when you don't run or you don't fight is that your muscles get tight, right? And so a lot of us in this community who are looking for some sort of way to get out of fight or flight mode, well, basically a lot of us in this community we have tight muscles, right? Right, Tom? Yeah. So when you have tight muscles, you can have pain too, right? You get compensation patterns, you get back pain, you get shoulder pain, your neck hurts. And so we'll go to a massage therapist or something like that. And what happens when you go to a massage therapist is that you go into a parasympathetic nervous system state because physical touch makes you feel safe, right? Being aware of that like pleasurable feeling on your body tells your nervous system that you're okay. Because if you were in a position where you needed to run or hide or, fight, you wouldn't be having pleasurable touch feelings, right? So it's like that nurturing feeling, like your mother holding you or something like that. And Tommy's trying to drink my tea. You can't have it. So a massage can be really helpful, but the most important thing is to understand that the purpose of it isn't to loosen up your muscles. So if you're getting a massage that's painful, or that, like I had a client last week who said that she got a massage and the massage therapist was digging in so hard that she was seeing stars. Like if you're in that much pain when you're getting a massage, then you're kind of defeating the purpose because your muscles will relax when they feel safe. They don't relax when you feel threatened or scared. And I think this is a big paradigm shift for a lot of people because a lot of us think that to get something to release, you have to like dig in, power through. Like there are some techniques that I don't agree with, and some of them are like the real painful ones, right? If you come out of something in a way that feels bad, or if you're in the midst of healing and it feels bad, your muscles are not going to respond in a favorable way. They're not going to come out of fight or flight mode in that sense. So the goal is to get into a place of what we call rest and digest. When your sympathetic nervous system is on high alert, you're in fight or flight mode. When your parasympathetic nervous system is kicking in, then you go into what's called rest and digest mode. And in rest and digest mode, your body is relaxed. You're resting. You could this is when if you were a caveman, you would be sitting around the fire, maybe dancing, maybe eating some whatever meat you caught on your run, right? And then you're digesting your food and your muscles are relaxing. You're getting the nutrients that you need spread through your whole body. In fight or flight mode, that's not the case. In fight or flight mode, your body doesn't care if you're hungry, doesn't care if you're full, it doesn't care if you have to digest food. It doesn't care about spreading nutrients around your body because in fight or flight mode, your body wants you to be able to move quickly and to get away from whatever is harming you. Our bodies aren't made to be in fight or flight mode all the time. but sometimes we have trouble getting out of that loop. So we want to try to find a way to get out of the fight or flight loop. And one way could be getting regular massages, or meditation is another one. When you breathe, especially through your nose, in and out through your nose, that feeling of breathing through your nose in slow pattern tells your body instantly that you are safe. Because if you were running or fighting, you would be huffing and puffing, right? So the fact that you can very slowly pay attention to your breathing in that way, like if you try it right now, just take a second and inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose, and feel the air going through, right? You'll notice that this like wave of calm starts to come across, right? Even me, like I get nervous when I do these things. I know I shouldn't because I do enough of this online, but I always do. I get a little nervous. So just even now being able to do that, like I'm a much more calm body. I feel much more calm. Okay. So that's one way, of course, to deep breathe. And it's very important. So whether you're meditating, whether you're just breathing, whether you're doing breathing exercises, as long as they feel good to your body, as long as you feel this feeling of relaxation, you're going into rest or digest mode, and then your body can feel really good, right? Another thing that I really love, and I have to show you guys this because it's super cool, is it's called an Apollo Neuro. This is a wearable device that vibrates in a way. I put it on my ankle. It looks like totally looks like a bracelet, like I'm on house arrest, but I'm not. It goes on my ankle, and I wear it just like under my socks or under my pants, or sometimes without, and for everyone to see. And when I'm wearing this, I can set it to different settings, and one of those settings is to recover and restore. And that's a really good one to put you in rest and digest mode. And what it does, it just vibrates in a way that makes you feel really safe. Now, that's pretty cool because you don't even notice that it's happening. It just happens like throughout the day. I have it set on a schedule. So once an hour, it goes on for about 15 minutes, sometimes longer. It also helps me to sleep, that sort of thing. It's called Apollo Neuro. I suggest looking it up if that's something that is interesting to you, especially if you have trouble sleeping or you want, it's really good for focus, that sort of thing. Look them up because it's something I really believe in, and I don't have any affiliation with them at all whatsoever. So it's Apollo, like the god, and Neuro, like your brain, Apollo Neuro. So look that up. I think you'll really enjoy it. It's a little pricey, but to me, it's like, it was an investment that has really paid off even over a couple months. Now, the last thing, and this is why I'm here, of course, is resistance stretching. We want to find safety in our bodies. And a lot of my clients actually have chronic pain, severe pain. Some of them are really, really suffering. And most of that is fight or flight. And as soon as they feel safe, and as soon as I can make their muscles feel safe, then everything just opens up. It's kind of amazing. Now, some of that safety is just knowing that they can trust their own bodies. And I would say that's number one, actually. Some of that needs to be manually done. And that means that I may do some assisted stretching where I can do a stretch. I can feel if that stretch is activated in the proper way. I can feel if there's a moment of tension, or if the body, like the brain and the body aren't communicating properly. I can feel that, and then I can fix the problems. But I don't fix it by going after that muscle that's not connecting properly. I actually fix it by going after what's pleasurable in the body. So this is really cool. I want to do a little meditation with you guys, actually, that I got from a book called The Big Leap, which I highly recommend. It's by Gay Hendrickson. It's called The Big Leap. The Big Leap is basically like what's holding me back, and then you kind of figure it out. It's more like self-help than anything else. It doesn't really talk about your muscles, but this is a meditation that he uses for when you get into a state of anxiety. So when you notice that you're anxious, which we don't always notice, but if you can like come up with some triggers, like if you're thinking about money, or if you're thinking about your kids, or if you're thinking about your household or whatever, like if you catch yourself feeling anxious, then make a conscious decision to let go of those anxious thoughts. It doesn't mean that they're going to go away right away, but just make a decision that you're going to let go of them. And then wonder for a second, like just be like, I wonder what good thing I'm preventing from coming into my life with this anxiety. Like, what is this anxiety blocking? What good thing is this blocking? So if you just allow yourself to wonder that, you don't have to come up with an answer. Just open yourself up to wonder, right? So you've let go of the anxiety, sort of. You've decided to let go of it. And you say, I wonder what good is trying to come in. And then take a second and just scan your body. Now, this is the part that I thought was really cool. Take a second and scan your body and say, where is this goodness? Where is the good thing trying to enter my body? So it seems metaphysical. It's not. It's like, where is this pattern going to happen? Then you put your focus on that body part for a second, notice it, and then open yourself up to allowing that sensation to overcome the others. Okay, so putting your awareness, putting your focus on the area that feels pleasurable, right? Then once that happens, usually you'll get a little bit of an insight on something really beautiful that's coming into your life, or something that feels really good to you. It kind of like reminds you of the goodness in life. But what this does that I think is really fascinating is it takes the energy off of something that's not pleasurable and puts it onto something that is. Now, for me, anxiety it can get put in my body, in my muscles, so I'll have pain. And a lot of times that's in my abdomen and creates like nausea or upset stomach, that sort of thing. It's usually around my diaphragm, like around, you can't see, but it's like in this area. I get really tight through there, and that seems to be my place of anxiety. So if we were to run through this, the other day, let me give you an example. The other day I was writing in my journal, which I do every morning. It's like a big routine where I write for like an hour or sometimes 2 hours and process my day, process my thoughts, try to work on like see where my blockages are and how I can remove them, and then just keep increasing. So if I take this anxiety trap exercise, that again is from the book called The Big Leap, so you can check that out. If I'm writing in my journal, sometimes I come up with a problem and then I'm finding the solution to the problem, and then I'm writing down all the things that I'm going to do to fix that problem and to what needs to happen next. And sometimes that can be really overwhelming for me. And one of my big, like he calls it upper limit problems, one of my biggest like hit the ceiling kind of problems is that I'm always worried that if I'm more successful, that it's going to be a bigger burden, that I'm going to be too busy, right? That it's going to be too hard. And so then I get anxious. So I was writing and I was saying all these things I was going to do, and then my stomach started cramping up. I started getting that like awful feeling. I was getting nauseous, and I knew I wasn't really nauseous. I just knew that it was like something there. So I noticed, and I took myself through these steps. So I said, okay, well, I can feel this anxiety right here. I'm going to consciously decide to shift my thoughts away from that. I said, I wonder what good is trying to come into my life. Now, obviously, the good that was trying to come into my life was a more successful business model that I was working on, right? So I wonder what goodness is trying to come into my life. And then I scanned my body and I said, okay, so I can feel the pleasurable feeling where this is trying to come into my body in my fingers, like really buzzing through my hands. And I hadn't noticed that before. Now, you guys know, if you know me well, you know that I'm a musician too. I'm a piano player. I play Irish tin whistle. There's a lot that happens here, right? There's a lot that happens here. So my hands were starting to really get like buzzy. And so I shifted my awareness. I made a conscious decision to shift my awareness into my hands. And I decided to I tried to hold that awareness for as long as I possibly could. Now, what ended up happening is that I had a major revelation that that music was the thing that was going to help me feel more free. And then I spent some time playing the piano. I spent some time playing whistle. I taught some really crazy cool lessons. It just really re-inspired me in so many ways. And then I was able to sit down and start the new project with no fear and no anxiety. Now, the reason why I bring all this up, you're like, what does this have anything to do with resistance stretching? Well, it does. And it's so amazing, you guys. It's like, this is what I'm always trying to tell you is that the pain is not where the answer lies, right? And so many times people are like, well, I have this back pain, so I do this back pain thing, right? But a lot of times the back pain's coming from somewhere completely different, right? Sometimes it's you have to know where the solution lies, and the solution lies in where the goodness is trying to come into your world, right? Now, how do we find that? This is cool. Sorry, my allergies are like, so this is cool. So I'm going to switch the camera so I can show you. And also you can watch, I just put out a video today for the Saturday stretch that's called How to Improve the Health of Your Low Back. And it talks a lot about this as well. So I just want to kind of show you how it works. So let me get the camera switched. back in to our other stretches since we just had that one. But I had this really cool lesson this week with my teacher who was telling me like just basically to play everything as slow as I possibly can, painfully slow. And I translated that into my other lessons with my piano students. And what I found was that if I told them to find the slowest, fastest speed, no, the fastest, slowest speed and stay there. Now, how this would work in stretching is find the biggest, smallest stretch, right? It's like find the biggest range of motion that you can get that's small. Does that make sense? Like you don't have to go big. You don't have to try so hard. You can feel good. You can take it to a small range of motion. And then what happened with my students when I told them like, let's find the fastest, slowest speed and start there. They played everything smoothly. Their brains and their fingers caught up with each other. There was no panic. There were no mistakes. There were no flubs. There were no like stops and starts. It just went really smooth. And then when we started to speed it up, that continued, right? And the progress happened super fast. Where like usually they would play something kind of like on the edge, like as fast as they could play it, like the slowest, fastest speed. Like they were like as fast as they could, right? And they make a lot of mistakes, and then we'd have to relearn all those mistakes, and there would still be stutters. So they'd be learning the stutters, and they feel panicked, and there was so much to it. Now in stretching, I want you to find the smallest, biggest range of motion. Okay, the smallest range of motion that you can do comfortably, or like only the stretches that feel good, and then you'll be surprised at how quickly you open up. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm not being too